Welcome to another Hospitality Principles video. Today's video is actually brought on by a viewer who is moving up. He was a server, he was a captain, and now it looks like he is becoming a supervisor, a restaurant supervisor, floor supervisor. So first, I'd like to start by congratulating this viewer. So congratulations on moving up. I hope you do a great job and have a great time being a supervisor and you move your way up through the world. If you like content like this, definitely like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I unfortunately recently have not been uploading very much due to trying to maintain the restaurant I am managing right now through this whole COVID thing. If you would like to kind of hear about what's going on with that, leave a comment down below and I'll try to do a video kind of overview of what's going on. A lot of kind of interesting things that have happened in the last 8 months since this whole COVID thing kind of started. Now, let's just get into it. So the position of a supervisor versus, let's say, a manager. Well, a supervisor position is often considered like junior management, things like that. There are some slight differences between both of those positions. So let's kind of look at the similarities there. So both positions require you to be a very good leader. So you are going to be leading the team. I like to think of it as you're basically the captain of the entire restaurant. That's probably the easiest way to look at it. So when you are captain, you're responsible for your section. You're responsible for the tables in your section. You're responsible for depending on the style of restaurant, the server, the busser, and the runner for that section, and making sure they're doing their jobs, both during service as well as, setup and breakdown and all those kind of things. So basically, you're going to be doing the similar things, except for a larger scale. Toned down a little bit as far as the responsibilities of tables. You are going to be more of a delegatory role. So you are definitely going to have to be a good leader. You're going to be making sure that everybody adheres to company policies and company guidelines. Both positions means a big part of your job is going to be putting out small little fires. So you are going to be going around, if one of the servers has an issue, trying to help them work through it, try to find a solution to it. May it be they forgot to bring in an item, they ran, overcharged a guest, they ran the wrong credit card on the wrong table or something. Those are small things that you're probably going to have to be dealing with throughout the day. Both positions require that you're going to be very hands-on with both the customers as well as the staff, so this is something to keep in mind. You will be spending most of your shift during service hours talking to customers, talking to staff, making sure they're doing their part. Both positions will put you in charge of training and keeping the staff up to date for holding pre-shifts meeting perhaps, or ongoing training, or if you have a new team member, training them yourself or delegating the training work and making sure that they are up to speed by the time they finish their training period. Another easy way to kind of think of the position would be to consider it kind of a conductor position. So you will be kind of conducting the dining room throughout the night, coordinating with the front desk, coordinating with the servers, coordinating with the kitchen, and kind of making sure that things go smoothly there. Now, when I say conductor, I'm thinking more of like the musical conductor, with the classical music, like leading the band rather than like a trained conductor. But you kind of get the idea there. Now let's take a look at how the positions are different. Keep in mind that every restaurant is slightly different. Some restaurants might consider some of these responsibilities part of a responsibility for a captain, some perhaps not. In most cases, a supervisor will not be in charge of making the schedule. You might be assist in the making process, but you won't be finalizing it, sending it out there. You will not be in charge of hiring and firing, although you will be probably asked to sit in on the interview or be part of the interview process as you will be training and to kind of help you learn the processes there. You will not be in charge of disciplinary action. You might make recommendations to management, but those disciplinary actions generally come from management, and they definitely should. For a legal standpoint, all those actions should be coming from management. Now, when you get into a management title, you'll be taking on the responsibilities of human management, and that is going to be the biggest difference, such as you're going to be hiring, firing, and all that kind of stuff there, which, believe me, if you can hold that off as long as possible, that's great, because that is definitely probably the hardest part of being a manager, aside from the financial aspect. Once you get into management, you'll also be making a lot of operational decisions, financial decisions, stuff like that. Let's take a look at just the supervisor position and talk about what to expect. Like I said earlier, if you're coming from a position of, like, let's say a captain, what you're going to be doing is going to be very similar to what you were doing, just kind of on a grander scale there. You are now kind of the liaison between the staff and management, if that makes sense. So the most important thing to do is to make sure that you have your team's back and they have yours. You want to make sure that they understand that you are there on their side, there to help them achieve their goals. Too many times I think that upper management really gets disconnected from what the floor staff is really going through day to day, and that becomes a huge problem. I think many times there's policies put in place that, while they make sense, the implementation is usually very poorly done, and that is a great place for someone such as a team leader, a supervisor, or somewhere like that, where they can be that connect between the policy and the kind of frontline workers there. So that is probably going to be the key role for most supervisor positions in most restaurants. It's a good idea to jump in and kind of lead by example in most cases. There might be some times where you want to step back and be more of a delegator. That is important as well. Obviously, you don't want to be doing the job for people, but to kind of show them how it should be done and say, okay, now you do it. You want to work very closely with your managers to make sure that you are, adhering to their guidelines, their goals, and you understand completely what they want you to do and want their team to do, so that you can help that team achieve those goals. You also want to work with them closely so that you're giving them feedback. As I mentioned earlier, depends on the restaurant. Again, for me, I'm very hands-on with my management. I'm generally on the floor during service, and I'm very aware of what is going on. Many times management is not aware, and they will, perhaps create policies, complain about something, have an issue, but they really don't have an idea of what is actually going on. So while the policy might be a good policy or a good idea, it might not be either tailored to the situation correctly, or it might be implemented poorly. So kind of work with them to give them feedback, how the staff is reacting to it, how it's working out, how the customer's reacting, getting information from customers. Often I would be going around talking to tables and kind of getting that feedback, and that would be something I would give the feedback to either management or the kitchen. Hopefully this video answers any questions about the restaurant supervisor position. If I missed anything or there was anything additional you would like me to talk about, I understand I kind of threw this video together, and it's been quite a few years since I was a restaurant supervisor. I did a video talking about my typical day as a restaurant supervisor, so be sure to check that out. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.